When she confided in the wrong guy at 3 a.m., she unlocked his millionaire heart forever. The clock ticked ominously in the stillness of the night, each second echoing like a warning in the dim glow of a flickering street lamp outside. The air felt electric, thick with tension, as Mia sat hunched over her phone, her heart racing from too many tequila shots and the weight of secrets ready to spill. In the dead of night, with shadows wrapping around her like a heavy blanket, she never expected the man on the other end of the line to change everything. His voice, a deep rumble, promised intrigue and danger, sparking something in her chest, a flame of curiosity ignited against the dark. Who was he really? She glanced out the window, feeling eyes watching her. It was just a perception, but it pricked at her nerves. The city seemed unaware of how dramatically her life was about to flip. Flickering neon signs painted her face in hues of blue and pink like a backdrop to a twisted dream. What kind of guy spends his nights awake, wading through insecurities and loss like a dagger in the dark? But tonight, she was ready to let it all out, every hidden thought, every painful secret. He listened. Each word she spoke, coated in alcohol courage, unspooled between them. But with every confession, the ground beneath her trembled. Suddenly, there was laughter, mocking laughter from the shadows. Was it just her imagination? The weight of his attention felt heavy on her, almost like possession. Her heart matched her breath, racing yet desperate to slow down. "Okay, Mia," he said, the playful challenge in his voice sending shivers down her spine. "What if I told you I have a fortune, but it's not about money? It's about unlocking dreams." His words rolled like silk yet cut deep. What did he know about dreams? Was this a game? Or was he really the key to something more? Before we continue, I need to tell you something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to their system and many people are missing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and select all notifications so you don't miss future videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Mia shook her head, grappling with the madness of it all. His voice hung between them, laced with promise and peril. The shadows seemed to blend, whispering warnings, but the allure of his lurking charisma pulled her in deeper. Was this one night destined to redefine everything? $1 million heart, was it tender or jagged? As goosebumps erupted on her skin, she clung to the edge of her seat, a storm brewing in her chest. In the dimness of the night, secrets began to take shape, twisting into something neither of them could control. What was in store for her and the rugged stranger? The answers loomed just out of reach, glimmering like stars hidden behind storm clouds. Mia's tense fingers tightened around her phone, the screen illuminating her face with a ghostly glow. "Unlocking dreams, huh?" she murmured, her heart dancing dangerously in her chest. Sounds more like a bad pickup line. But even as she said it, the words fluttered away like leaves in the wind. He chuckled softly, a sound that vibrated through the phone, deeper than before, reeling her in. "What if I told you everyone has dreams? We just need someone to help us see them, to unlock them." That hint of vulnerability in his voice made her pause, her mind racing. Was he genuine? Or was he just another player in a city filled with night crawlers and lost souls? Out in the alley, a sudden crash shattered the air, rattling her nerves. She jolted, glancing nervously back towards the darkened corners of her apartment. Everything felt surreal. Was this a nightmare, or could this be a strange twist of fate? "Are you always this philosophical after midnight, or is it just me making you change your tune?" She tried for humor, but her voice trembled slightly, betraying her uncertainty. "You have a way of bringing things out of me, Mia. Not many can do that." He paused, the silence thickening between the words yet again. "Tell me your biggest dream." The challenge hung heavy, charged with something more intense than simple curiosity. With a deep breath, she faltered, caught off guard. What was her biggest dream? She had tucked it away, buried it under disappointment and fear. I don't know if I can. Why not? Dreams like that deserve to be spoken, even if they scare you. As the city slumbered under the blanket of night, the static energy between them sizzled. She could feel the weight of his gaze, though they weren't in the same room. Could he truly understand the tangled web of her heart? And if she let the monster out, would it consume her? Okay, she whispered. I want to travel the world, to see every city that pulses with life, make art out of the chaos. The confession tumbled out, heavy with longing, and she was surprised at her own courage. But it seems impossible. Like it's all just a dream. Impossible is just an illusion. His voice was low, confident. What if I told you I could help you make it come true? A laugh bubbled up her throat, but it was tinged with disbelief. You're 2 steps away from a reality show, sweet talker. Just then, the laughter returned, a dark echo that danced through her mind like a malicious wind. But the stranger's voice held her steady. You deserve more than your safe little life, Mia. Don't you see? Life is like a game of poker. You either play your cards well or fold. Are you ready to play? What are you saying? The challenge in his tone made her pulse race, but fear gripped her heart. What are you asking me to do? The laughter twisted louder in her ears, drowning out his reply. She gripped the phone tightly, her breathing quickening as she felt that unnerving sensation of being watched. It was closing in again, the shadows crawling along the walls. Mia. His voice slipped into a whisper. Trust me. And then, the call dropped. An icy fear gripped her heart, paranoia coursing through her veins. She stared at her screen, heart pounding like a drum. Had she really stepped into something far beyond her understanding? Before she could process this new fear, a figure passed in the dark outside her window, silhouette sharp against the moonlight. Anxiety gripped her chest, breath hitting as she peered through the glass, wondering, who else was watching? Now, one question hung like a thick fog in her mind. Was the man with the $1 million heart more of a guardian angel or a devil hiding in plain sight? Mia's heart thumped erratically, a captive audience to her rising fear. She couldn't shake the sensation that eyes were on her, an unyielding pressure that made her skin crawl. She released her phone, its glow fading, leaving the shadows to wrap tight around her like a funeral shroud. With breaths racing, she moved slowly, tiptoeing toward the window. The silhouette had vanished, swallowed by the night, but panic clawed at her throat, suffocating the rational thoughts swirling in her head. Had it been the same figure that lingered in her dreams, that haunted her during the darkest hours? Or was it just a trick of her mind, playing games as it did so often? Damn it, she whispered, drawing back into the safety of her apartment. If she did have a dream, it didn't include the slow drip of dread pooling at her feet. And yet, with every heartbeat echoing in her ears, the urge to move anywhere gripped her. Suddenly, the ring of her phone sliced through the silence. Her heart leaped, and she rushed across the room, barely able to grip the device before the caller ID lit up. Unknown number. A jolt ran through her. Should she answer? Fumbling, she hit the green button and pressed the phone to her ear. Hello? Static fizzled, and for a moment, Mia thought of hanging up. But before she could consider it, a low growl vibrated through her, unmistakably familiar. Mia. Who is this? Panic dotted her words, but something kept her rooted, that alluring thread of connection teasing at the edge of her nerves. I'm someone who can help you, he breathed, the warmth of his voice wrapping around her like a favorite quilt. That man, the one you thought you saw outside. There was a calculated pause. He's not what you think. But you need to trust me. Her heart raced. Why should I trust you? You just dropped the call. Because, he snapped back with surprising urgency, you've already made a choice by indulging my questions. You want dreams, don't you? Life doesn't wait. Tension hung heavy, thickening the air. And what if your dreams come at a price? She shot back, her voice barely a whisper. Silence, then the sound of his breath, deep and ragged. Sometimes everything you want comes from taking risks. The way he said it burrowed in deep. Yes, she craved adventure. Yes, she wanted more. But was this risk worth exposing herself to a world she barely knew? A frantic thought grazed her mind. What did that mean about this mysterious stranger? Was risking it all worth it? Just then, the lights flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced along her walls. She glanced at the window, half expecting a ghostly figure to appear. But it was empty, silent. However, she could sense an impending storm brewing outside, thunder rumbling like a warning. "Are you still there, Mia?" His voice was sharp, urging like the first drops of rain. "Your dreams are waiting. Just take that leap." She hesitated. So many unknowns, so many risks woven with the thrill of possibility. But if she refused this chance, would she regret it forever? Before she could finish, a crash rattled her window, sending a cold shiver down her spine. A figure lunged into view, face masked, moving like a shadowed wraith. A scream clawed at her throat, and then, he was gone as quickly as he had appeared. In his place, a chill filled the room, suffocating and real. What was that? Mia gasped, the phone slipping from her hands as fear took over. The call had gone silent, his reassurance lost in the chaos of her panic. "Mia!" came a voice from her left. It wasn't his. It was a different man, larger, looming, eyes glowing with something she couldn't express. "Who are you?" she cried, stumbling backward. The man grinned, revealing teeth too sharp, an unsettling smile designed to unnerve. "Looking for dreams, are we?" "You're too late." Suddenly, everything she thought she wanted warped into something dark and twisted. A complete unraveling of her desire. Now, the night had unfolded into unfathomable chaos, and all Mia could think was what was waiting for her on the other side of that door. Mia's breath hitched in her throat. The man's predatory glare cut through the shadows, making her feel smaller, more vulnerable. The reality of her situation slammed into her. She was not safe, not in her apartment, and certainly not from the mysteries that lurked outside. "Get away from me!" she shouted, the words bursting forth as the pounding of her heart crescendoed into a desperate plea, but he moved closer, each step heavy and deliberate. "You have something I need, Mia. And trust me, you're too important to let go, not now." His voice dripped with a mocking sweetness, but the edge of danger lurked beneath every syllable. Panic surged higher, threatening to drown her beneath waves of terror. She couldn't stay here. The walls felt like they were closing in, wrapping around her like a dream she couldn't wake from. "You don't even know me," she pleaded, clutching the edge of the table for support. "Yet," he replied, a smirk illuminating his face. "But I know you want more than this mundane life. Your eyes tell me everything. You want dreams, you want to break free." The static hum of the night seemed to echo his words, a sinister chorus that played along with her racing thoughts. What did he want? Did he know about her wish to escape into a different life, a brighter one filled with possibility? She swallowed hard. Was she so transparent? "I don't need you," Mia mustered, her tone trembling with uncertainty. "Oh, but you do," he continued, unfazed. "The man you saw outside? He's part of a much bigger story, one you're meant to be in. He's not what you think, and if you'd only let me explain." As if punctuating his sentence, a deafening clap of thunder boomed outside, rattling the window panes. Mia flinched, the sound reverberating through her bones, shaking her resolve. "What do you know?" she spat, defiance returning like a flickering candle. "Who are you to say what I need? You don't know anything about me." He stepped forward, the looming shadow of menace pulling closer, but she didn't retreat this time. "I know your potential," he said, voice low and steady. "I know you're standing on the edge, desperate to leap into something greater, and I can guide you. But the cost. His words dripped like honey, sweet yet toxic. The room felt electric, charged with unfulfilled promises and hidden truths. Mia's mind raced. Did this man present a way out, or was he just another trap waiting to tighten around her? Her dreams dangled tantalizingly close, but at what price? Find him, he urged, an intensity flaring in his eyes. You cannot let him slip through your fingers. He's the key to everything you desire. But, you'll have to take risks if you want to find out who he really is. What do you mean? Her confusion mixed with a surge of hope and panic, battling for dominance. You need to make a choice. Follow me, or be forever held back by your fears. But be careful, he warned, lowering his voice conspiratorially, there are forces at work you cannot see. You're in much deeper than you realize. As she stood, heart racing, her mind scrambled. Was this the adventure she had longed for? Was this her moment to step into the unknown? Just then, another loud crash echoed through her apartment, drawing her attention toward the neck of the door. Someone was trying to get in. Mia, the haunting voice of the stranger she had spoken to earlier reverberated in her mind, trust me. But as the door rattled one more time, she felt the weight of the moment settle. Tension vibrated like a taut string ready to snap. Time stood still, and in that heart-stopping second, she had to decide, turn back into the shadows that had always held her, or step into a darkness that promised both peril and possibility, and in that heartbeat, she couldn't ignore the truth swirling just beneath her surface. If she chose this path, there was no going back. The door splintered with a violent crack, and in that moment, Mia's heart felt like it might explode. The intruder didn't hesitate. He stepped inside, shadows underlining the sharp features of his face. It was the man she'd seen before, the one from outside. Her throat clenched tight as terror gripped her. Mia, he said, urgency spilling from his lips like a river overflowing its banks. You have to listen to me. But the man in front of her, his presence exuding danger, held her captive. Uncertainty twisted in her stomach. Who to trust? I'm here to protect you, he continued, and for a moment, it almost felt like a promise. But how could she differentiate between truth and manipulation when both stood in her small apartment? The intruder's eyes flicked toward the stranger, who now occupied the space between them. Get away from her, he shouted, a low growl escaping, demanding authority. Mia looked from one man to the other, a storm of emotions swirling within her. Who was the real threat here? Stay out of this, the first man snapped, advancing on her. You have no idea what's coming. They're close. They? Mia's mind spun as she sought clarity. What was he talking about? Just tell me where he is. The stranger's voice was steady, but he shifted as if waiting for an explosion to occur. I want to let him get to you. Mia felt herself trembling. Her instincts screamed to run, but where could she go? What kind of danger had she walked into? He's not who you think, she protested, determination hardening her voice. What do you know about either of them? The first man chuckled darkly, a rich sound laced with sarcasm. You really think you have a choice here? You've already chosen by opening the door. Now, the only path is forward. Suddenly, another crash rattled the room. It came from the fire escape outside. Mia's breath quickened. Time was slipping away as fast as her grasp on the situation. She had to act, but how? Before she could conceive a plan, the stranger lunged forward, grabbing her wrist. Listen, Mia. I need you to trust me. You can't let him manipulate you any longer. The electricity in the room crackled. The air turned thick with tension, each heartbeat a pulse of urgency. I don't know who to trust, she gasped, her voice breaking. That's the thing, isn't it? The first man interjected, his eyes boring into her. The more you doubt, the less control you have. You must decide now, who do you want by your side when the chaos unfolds? Why should I choose? She shot back, anger igniting her fear. Because, Mia, he replied, words sharp like knives, there's something bigger at stake here. You're part of a game you didn't even know you were playing. Once you figure that out, maybe then you'll understand why you matter so much. Mia's mind reeled. The idea of being a pawn, a piece in someone else's twisted game, sent chills down her spine. Let us go. The stranger insisted, pulling her toward the door. We can't stay here any longer. She looked back, searching for an answer in the first man's eyes, finding only a smirk that promised danger and deceit. In a heartbeat, she made her choice. With one last glance at the storm brewing outside, she reached for the door. But before she could step beyond the threshold, a deafening roar erupted in the night, the unmistakable sound of a car skidding to a halt. Mia. It was a new voice, one she didn't recognize. The stranger turned, eyes wide in shock. Mia. The voice rang out again, this time soaked in desperation. She hesitated, heart pounding wildly. Who was this new player? And what did it mean for her next move? Standing at that uncertain edge, she couldn't shake the feeling that the choices she had to make could alter everything she'd ever known. The roar of the engine was followed by the screech of tires, sending Mia's pulse racing. Her eyes darted to the window, where the flicker of headlights painted the walls like streaks of panic. Shadows danced, merging with the impending chaos just outside her door. Mia. The voice came again, sharper this time, more urgent. It belonged to someone she didn't know. Someone she hadn't invited into her life. Who is that? She whispered, her voice coated in fear. Stay focused. The stranger hissed, his grip tightening around her wrist. He shifted, ready to shield her, but Mia could feel the conflict radiating off him. I don't know them. She stammered, glancing between her captor and the other man, who was now pacing dangerously close to the door, like a predator on the prowl. You don't have time for this. The first man shouted. We need to move. Now. Suddenly, there was a loud bang against the door, making her jump. Everyone froze. Another blast reverberated through the small apartment, sending tremors through the floor. Mia. The voice called again. Please, open the door. It's me. I'm here to help you. The sincerity in that voice struck a chord deep within her. But it was drowned out by the looming threat of the man in front of her. Don't listen to him. He urged, desperation creeping into his tone. He's part of this, he wants to exploit you. Exploiting her? The thought twisted in her mind like a knife. The stranger's words echoed, you have no idea what's coming. With each heartbeat, dread crackled in the air. Mia felt suffocated, her chest tight. She watched the other man back up, just a few paces from the door, preparing for whatever was about to burst through. The doorframe splintered inwards with another fierce impact. A momentary fear ran through her, would they come crashing through next? She shoved it aside, barely able to think straight. Please, Mia. Trust me. Urged the voice again. I swear I'll keep you safe. As if sensing an opening, the intruder took a bold step forward. You think you can trust him? His voice had dropped to a low growl. He's just using you. Mia, he's lying. Pleaded the stranger. You need to know the truth. But just before she could process his plea, the door exploded inward, splintering wood flying in all directions like shrapnel. Mia shrieked and fell back, landing hard against the wall. Darkness flooded the threshold, a figure silhouetted against the chaos outside. In the blink of an eye, everything changed. The storm outside mirrored the turmoil within her. Just as the threat surged through the door, Mia realized she had two choices to make. Would she cling to the familiar, the stranger who tugged at her heart, or leap into the unknown, trusting the man who claimed to protect her. "Get down!" the newcomer shouted, lunging forward, sweeping Mia behind him as he pulled out something glinting, a weapon. The tension snapped like a taut wire pulled beyond its limits. Mia's mind raced as adrenaline coursed through her veins. She felt suspended in time, a cocktail of dread and uncertainty. The tension was palpable, a dark rope binding them all to the path ahead. "Mia, you have to decide right now," the stranger yelled, his face twisted with urgency. "Do you fight with him or do you run with me?" But before she could muster a response, chaos erupted. In a flash, the room transformed into a battlefield, and all she could think was, who would survive to tell the tale? As the chaos consumed them, the weight of her decision settled heavily within her. In that moment, a shocking realization hit her: what awaited them outside would redefine everything they thought they knew about loyalty, trust, and survival. But as the shadows surged, where would they land in this twisted game? Mia barely had time to comprehend the chaos unfolding. The shadowy figure lunged into the room, a wild urgency in his movements. The man who had called to her was overpowering, wielding an assault against the stranger she had just met. A tremor gripped her heart as she pushed herself against the wall, instinctively wanting to disappear. "Out of the way!" the newcomer barked, swinging the weapon toward the door just as another body burst through. It was a flurry of chaos, limbs flying, voices rising amidst the clash. "Stay back, Mia!" the stranger shouted, but she couldn't tear her eyes away from the battle. The room erupted into a whirlwind of noise. A flash of metal caught her eye, and she felt the air catch in her throat. The dark figure stumbled, blood seeping from a gash on his arm, but he pressed forward. "Don't you see? They're here for you." Confusion rippled through her. She was the target? "What do you mean?" She barely whispered it, the words clawing at her throat. "Later. Just trust me." He gritted his teeth, grappling with another attacker. Mia's heart raced. The weight of the choice pressed on her. Who was she supposed to trust when the stakes were so high? Suddenly, another figure emerged behind the shadows. It was clear, the chaos outside was closing in. The sounds of approaching sirens mingled with muffled shouts and the crunch of gravel under boots. "Move!" the original man barked, dragging her toward the back of the apartment. "We've got to go." He pulled at her wrist, urgency etched into every line of his face. The door shook again, splintering further, and Mia felt the world tilting around her. She wasn't sure if the threat lay in the attackers or if it was all rooted in the truth that was threatening to unravel her entire life. "Please!" she gasped, confusion swirling in her mind. "I don't understand. Tell me you believe me," he yelled, wrestling with the intruders, grunting with the effort. The other man had regained his footing and charged in again, forcing Mia to make a choice. "I don't." Before she could finish, the room convulsed with a deafening noise. The air thickened with a chilling sense of foreboding. The figures clashed, backlit by the spiraling lights outside that pierced through the chaos. "Go!" her captor shouted, propelling her toward a narrow hallway. Just as she reached it, a sudden crash rang out, the other man tumbling to the floor, his leg caught underneath a critical beam. "Help!" he wheezed, but Mia felt the cold grip of panic holding her back. How could she choose between them when the world seemed intent on swallowing her whole? The sirens wailed closer, a haunting soundtrack to her indecision. Each heartbeat echoed in her chest, mirroring the cacophony of violence unfolding. Was she a pawn in a game she didn't understand, or was there something deeper at stake? "Mia!" the original man shouted. "We can't wait. You have to choose now." The weight of the decision cracked into her mind like the door giving way. Suddenly, an unfamiliar voice broke through the fray, calm and commanding. "Stop!" it ordered. Mia's heart dropped at the familiar tone, yet it was accompanied by overwhelming unfamiliarity. What would come next? Would this new force change the tides of the battle or plunge her deeper into madness? In that moment, as everything froze in time, she felt more lost than ever before. Would she uncover the truth before it was too late? Or would the shadows consume everything she thought she knew? The command sliced through the chaos like a knife. Mia's breath caught, a fragile gasp in her throat. She blinked, trying to place the voice that felt both alien and achingly familiar. The fight paused, caught in a suspended moment of disbelief. "Everyone, stand down." The order rang with authority. A woman stepped into the room, tall, elegant, her dark hair cascading down her back like a veil of night. There was an unsettling grace to her movements, as if she glided rather than walked, and something about her presence made Mia's heart pound faster. "Leah?" The stranger shouted, eyes wide with both fear and relief. "What are you doing here?" "Saving you, obviously," she replied coolly, her gaze darting over the scene, assessing threats. The tension hung visibly in the air, thick like smoke. Mia's mind raced. Leah? Who was she? The original man's fierce protectiveness faltered, and suddenly, he appeared almost vulnerable in her presence. "We don't have time for this," he gritted out, eyes still fixed on Mia. "We need to get out. Now. Listen to me." Leah turned her piercing gaze on Mia. "You have to trust me. Come with me, and everything will be explained." The thrill of fear shot through Mia. Was she really supposed to believe this stranger now? Or was she stepping deeper into a trap instead of the escape she desperately yearned for? "Why should I trust you?" Mia's voice trembled, despite her attempts to sound stronger. "I don't even know you." "Because I know you," Leah shot back, a chilling certainty in her words. "And because I know what's coming for you. That's why I'm here." Something flickered in Mia's chest, a shred of recognition buried within the fog of confusion. But before she could examine it, the commotion roared back to life. The figure on the floor, the one pinned beneath the beam, struggled to raise himself, his face twisted in agony. "Help me!" he gasped, voice cracking. Panic streaked through Mia as she felt the fabric of her reality tearing apart. "Mia!" The original man's harsh whisper shattered the frantic air. "If you don't move now, we'll all be caught in this mess." She was frozen, etiquette colliding violently with instinct. Was compassion worth the risk of sacrificing herself? Or would her refusal be their undoing? Suddenly, a loud bang echoed as the front door was forced open. A swarm of figures poured in, dark silhouettes against the flashing lights from the street. The sound of shouting reached a fever pitch. "Mia!" Leah grabbed her arm, urgency radiating from her touch. "Now! Choose!" The weight of choice bore down on Mia's shoulders, insistent and heavy. Could she really walk away from the man who had been fighting for her? But was it any better to step into the unknown with Leah? Her vision blurred, panic leaping into her throat. Her instinct screamed to run, with no other options lingering. Mia took a step backwards toward Leah. "Okay, I trust you, I'll go with you." The moment the words left her lips, the room erupted. The attackers surged toward them, and sheer instinct kicked in. Leah yanked Mia into the shadows, ducking behind a nearby wall as the sounds of struggle melted into a soul-chilling symphony of chaos. "What is happening?" Mia exclaimed, gripping Leah's arm tightly. "Who are they?" "They're after something only you can give them," Leah replied, voice barely above a whisper. "And it's not just your life at stake, Mia. It's a legacy." Legacy? The word thudded through her mind like a drum, but before she could question its implications, they were rushing through a narrow entry that snaked away from the tumult. "Hold on tight," Leah urged, as they barreled deeper into the building. Each footfall echoed Mia's heartbeat. She couldn't shake the feeling that the real fight was just beginning, and the truth, whatever it was, loomed like a hungry predator in the dark. What legacy could possibly be tied to her, and more importantly, would uncovering it seal her fate forever? The narrow passage spiraled deeper into the bowels of the building, walls closing in around them, each step heavy with dread. Mia's pulse raced as Leah led the way, her grip steady on Mia's arm. The sounds of chaos faded slightly, but the thudding of her heart reverberated in her ears, drowning out everything else. "Where are we going?" Mia panted, struggling to keep pace. "To safety," Leah replied, her voice unwavering, tinged with urgency. "You're more important than you realize." Mia's mind spun. What did that even mean? The word legacy twisted around her thoughts like smoke, leaving her gasping for clarity. Just moments ago, she had been a bewildered bystander, now she was thrust into an unfolding nightmare. They rounded a corner and skidded to a halt. Leah pressed a finger to her lips, a signal for silence. The flickering fluorescent lights overhead cast eerie shadows, making it hard to see the face of the woman in front of her. "Mia, there's something I need to show you," Leah said softly, stepping back slightly to reveal a door tucked into the wall. It was old, the paint peeling, but the kind of door that promised escape. Leah turned the knob slowly, and with a slight push, it creaked open. "What is it?" Mia whispered, her brow knitted in confusion and fear. Leah hesitated. "You have to promise me you won't panic." "Panic? You just pulled me from a room full of attackers. Do you even know what I'm supposed to do?" Mia could feel her voice rising, a knot of frustration tightening in her throat. "Just trust me." The urgency in Leah's eyes held Mia's breath, a silent tether binding them. But before she could respond, the screeching echo of boots on the floor jolted them both into action. Leah shoved her inside the small room and followed, quickly shutting the door. Inside, the air was thick and musty, boxes piled against the walls. Mia's heart thudded in her chest as she scanned the dark corners, panic bubbling under her skin. "Okay, we're safe for now," Leah said, peeking through the crack in the door. "Safe?" Mia leaned against the wall, trying to quiet her breaths, trying to wrap her mind around what safe even meant now. "Do you think that door is enough to hold them back?" "Who are they?" "I can't explain everything right now." Leah's voice was frantic, her eyes darting. "But I promise if you listen, you'll understand. They're not just after you. They want something that could change the world." "Change the world? What does that even mean?" Mia felt dizzy, the walls of the room closing in. "My family was part of something huge. A legacy buried under lies." Leah's eyes shimmered with unshed tears, anger and fear coiling together. "You hold the key to everything, the truth, the legacy. And if we can just keep it away from them, we can stop this." Mia shook her head, disbelief clawing at her. "Stop what? What are you even talking about?" Suddenly, a loud thud reverberated outside the door, sending a jolt of fear through Mia. She stepped back, her heart racing. "They've found us." Leah's reaction was instinctual. "Get ready. We might have to fight our way out." The realization that it was not merely a fight for her life, but something deeper shook Mia to her core. The legacy Leah mentioned reverberated in her mind, warning and calling her all at once. What if diving into this darkness meant losing everything who she was, who she wanted to be? Mia's breath quickened, and she grasped Leah's arm tightly. "What if we don't make it? What if everything you're saying is wrong?" "It's not wrong. You're the only chance we have. We need to move, now." With a forceful push, Leah swung the door open. The corridor outside swarmed with faces, flashes of anger and determination contorting their features. "Go!" Leah shouted, tugging Mia into the fray. Mia hesitated, a surge of dread washing over her. Everything felt like a runaway train. Would she find the answers she craved, or would the shadows consume her whole? They burst into the chaos, adrenaline pumping wildly through Mia's veins. The truth was out there, tangled in the madness, and she was right in the middle of it. But as they fought their way through the throng, an overwhelming question loomed: what lay at the heart of this legacy, and would it be a chance for redemption or the final end? Mia sprinted down the hall, adrenaline blazing through her veins like wildfire. Leah navigated ahead of her, a guiding light in a disorienting storm of chaos. The voices of their pursuers shouted behind them, echoes that felt like claws grazing her back, threatening to pull her back into the darkness. Every breath Mia took was labored, filled with a mix of fear and exhilaration. "What do you mean, I'm the key?" she blurted, urgency slicing through her confusion. "What's so important about me?" Leah flashed a glance back, her eyes fierce. "Your family's history is tangled in this mess. There's a power linked to your bloodline, something they want to control. If they find you, they'll do anything to seize that power." Mia's thoughts whirled with disbelief. A legacy? Power? It felt like something carved from a movie script, not the reality she'd known. Yet amid the fear, something inside her flickered, a long-buried courage shining through the dread. "Where do we go?" she gasped, her chest tightening. "What's the plan?" "There was a hidden spot, an old archive linked to your family's past. It's south, the last place we can hide and gather our thoughts," Leah panted, rounding a corner. "But we have to get there before they close in." In that moment, Mia remembered the man from the phone call, the one who had spoken about unlocking dreams. Was this the chance he had hinted at? Was it now or never? As they sprinted, the hallway felt like it grew further, an endless stretch of uncertainty. Just ahead lay a door, hinges rusted with time but still capable of swinging wide to freedom. With desperation driving her forward, Leah threw it open. They stumbled into a dim, cluttered room filled with relics, the scattered remnants of a life Mia had yet to understand. Dust motes danced in the narrow beams of light, creating an otherworldly glow. "This is it," Leah said, locking the door behind them. Her voice shook, yet her resolve remained unyielding. "This place holds everything." Mia glanced around, her heart racing. Amid the clutter, a long table held ancient parchments and photographs worn beyond recognition. She could feel the weight of history pressing down around her. "What do we do?" Leah picked up a tattered book. "We find the truth. Everything they want, the power, the legacy, it's all tied to this." Mia squinted as Leah opened the book. Strange symbols filled the pages, and the air crackled with an unease that sent shivers across her skin. "This is terrifying," Mia admitted, her voice a whisper. "Maybe," Leah replied, flipping through the pages. "But it's also empowering. Those who came before you fought for what mattered." Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from outside, reverberating like a thunderous heartbeat, reminding them that trouble was just steps away. "They're getting closer," Mia gasped. Leah's eyes narrowed, steely determination igniting within her. "We need to find the hidden location. There's a map if we can just decipher it quickly." Her fingers raced over the page, with newfound urgency. Mia leaned over, studying the drawings flowing across the yellowed paper. There it was, a symbol, resembling the pendant she had worn for years, intertwined with clues from her past she had never understood. "That's it!" Mia exclaimed, heart hammering. "What does it mean?" "It means we must move fast. If we don't, this legacy dies with us." Leah's voice was steady despite the chaos. "We're unlocking not just your past, but the power that comes with it." Mia felt the weight of it all. This wasn't simply a fight for survival, it was about embracing who she could become. A shiver of anticipation slithered through her. Maybe the chaos was meant to bring forth more than fear. "Okay," Mia whispered, resolve hardening in her chest. "Let us uncover this legacy." Just as Leah began to guide her through the deciphering, the door splintered, wood cracking alongside their collective breaths. A face pressed against the glass, a familiar warmth met her gaze. It was the man, the stranger from before. "Mia!" he shouted, frantic urgency etched into his features. "You have to trust me." Heat surged through her. In that moment, she wasn't just following Leah's lead. The choices laid bare before her felt like the ultimate test: who to trust? Who would guide her out of the storm and into the light? Listen. Mia called over the chaos, I need to know if you can help. What are you really after? Your safety. Your legacy. It's all connected. The man's voice grew louder, desperate. Together, we can break free. Mia looked between the two figures: the man she felt inexplicably drawn to, and Leah, who embodied strength and urgency. They were both a part of this wild game, fighting for her in different ways. But which side would lead to her truth? Another crash erupted, the door threatening to buckle under pressure. Time was slipping away. I'm scared, Mia admitted, heart racing as she turned back to Leah and the man. Who do I choose? You've always known, Leah urged. It's your legacy, your choice to make. Find what your heart tells you, Mia. The man shouted. You don't have to face this alone. His eyes shone with something real, something captivating: a promise of adventure, a leap into freedom. The sound broke through the panic. It was a call for trust, a chance to leap into the unknown. A flicker of determination rose. This was her moment. Let us do it, she yelled, a rush of clarity washing over her. In that heartbeat, she stepped forward, choosing not just a side but the truth written in her blood, a legacy forgotten but finally ready to resurface. Tension hung in the air, heavy and tangible. She didn't know what was ahead, but she wouldn't shy away any longer. As the door crashed open, she felt a surge of power ignite her spirit. Together, they burst into the chaos, fingers entwined, ready to confront whatever lay beyond. No matter what awaited, she would hold tightly to the truth they were about to uncover. They would reclaim the legacy, and in doing so, reclaim her dreams. As they stepped into the storm, Mia knew one thing for sure: this was just the beginning. You've reached the end of this incredible journey, and now it's time for you to take action. Don't sit back. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories that are coming your way. Smash the like button now to feed the algorithm and show your support. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about this thrilling conclusion. And for goodness sake, share this video with at least 5 friends who need to be part of this epic adventure. You need to show your love for the channel. Don't wait even one more second to share.